All right, it's December 19th, 2023. The last blog that I did was December 7th, so it's been 12 days. I didn't intend for it to go this long. It is one day after the closing, so back on December 7th, the planned closing was December 18th, so I made it. So what has happened? Well, I was able to find an insurer that would do what my lender needed. We had the appraisal last week, termite inspection last week, inspection for my purposes, just good property inspection. Due diligence period, of course, elapsed from my offer to closing, and the closing was kind of back and forth. It was either going to be Monday or Thursday of this week, so we were able to pull it off yesterday, which was Monday. So, the inspection was for my purposes. I made a good, strong offer with a lot of due diligence money, so and said, hey, I'm taking it as is. I'm going to do the inspection, but that's just so that I know what I'm going to need to do in the renovation. So, closing day yesterday was just tiring because it's a little nervous. I'm nervous throughout the day, and it's just waiting for emails, waiting for calls, calling, hey, does somebody need something? The insurance needed to be bound on the day of the closing, so that was a little bit touchy, and they wanted to take payment through a payment processor on their website, Stripe, and it just wasn't working. And my debit card that's in my connected to my operating account for the business, which had plenty of funds in it, it was saying not enough funds, insufficient funds. So I called the bank. They said, yeah, there's a cap on what you can do on that debit card, so we'll raise the cap. Still didn't work with the raised cap, so I finally just did it through my credit card. I had a credit card and I paid the insurance bill through that. So, but then by that time it was kind of late in the day. So I did get that paid and then went to my bank to wire my, the funds, the down payment and funds that I had to bring to closing. And then went to the attorney and signed all the documents and did the loan documents. And so I am assuming that today everything has gone well and that the lender wired what they needed to wire. I'm kind of still waiting for some email confirmation that occurred, and then that it was recorded today. So hopefully I've done what I can do. And the last I heard, everything was fine, so I just have not received that email. But so it was good. I mean, part of the other delay that yesterday was that the HUD, the closing disclosure, had missed my due diligence deposit. So they had to be taken off the purchase price, and a credit to me. So that had to get fixed and sent around and stuff like that. So, in general, I had a really good team of people. I mean, things went wrong, right? It could have gone better, but in general, everybody, they're all busy. I'm just one closing they're doing, but in general, they were all, they couldn't always take my call, but they'd call back and they followed up and they did what they could do. So, the agent was awesome, the real estate agent. The insurance person was awesome, and that was kind of problematic because their system didn't work for a while, and she had to get their tech support working on it. The lender just followed it through all day long. The attorney's office was really flexible and super nice. It was pleasant. The closing documents, the loan documents were extensive for this construction loan. It had my budget in it. It had just all kinds of pieces to it. The whole packet was more than 100 pages. So, pleasant closing, to sit and sign all the documents. So that all went well. So, how am I feeling today? Well, a couple of good things that happened. The appraisal came back and makes the whole project look better. It appraised at the current value for quite a bit more than I paid for it. Their projected after repair value is quite a bit more than my conservative estimate for it. So that just makes the whole project look better, and that, you know, hopefully by second half of 2024, you know, the project will be kind of completed, and I will own the property, have refinanced and own it, and have pretty much taken all the money back out of it that I've invested in it. And I'll still own it, and it will be cash flowing for me. So, and cash flowing well. So, so that appraisal kind of made me feel quite a bit better. The inspection that I had makes me feel quite a bit better. It's going to be less repairs. I thought there might be some structural issues under the house. You know, that the joists might have had some damage that would need to be repaired. Doesn't look that way. So this kind of looks like mostly cosmetic. I mean, cosmetic. You know, we'll gut the kitchen, you know, and redo the kitchen completely. Flooring, you know, there will be some changes to the bathroom and stuff like that. So, but, you know, no structural. And of course, 3 of the 4 units will get new central air, or central air added. So they'll run new duct work and air handler and outside units. So, but, you know, basically some of the stuff I had allocated for structural issues, I won't have those, I don't think. You know, of course, when you start tearing things apart, we might find something. On the downside, the lender fees were a lot. So, you know, of course the rate is high because it's a little riskier loan, but the fees were more than you know, I saw the term sheet, you know, I knew this was coming, but still you sit at the closing and you look at the HUD and you go, oh yeah, that's a lot, you know, so that was a lot. But, you know, the other thing that I'm seeing right now is that the rates are changing. So the rates have dropped, and my initial spreadsheets for the entire project, for the whole, you know, BRRRR method, buy, renovate, refi, or rent and refi, had quite a bit higher rates for the refi. I was putting in 8, 8.5, 9, and you know, now, you know, I'm hoping that maybe by the second half of next year we might be below 6. That would be fantastic. Make the numbers a lot better. So I'm feeling better about the rates. So what's coming up? Well, I got to meet with the general contractor and kind of put a plan together, and decide what I'm going to use for project planning. You know, I looked at GitHub and their projects and the Kanban boards and stuff like that, but what I haven't been able to figure out through that platform is how to make dependencies so that, you know, this has to happen before that, which has to happen before that. And a lot of the functionality ends up tying to source control, so I'm not sure that's going to work for me, but, you know, I might just be in spreadsheets and put the stuff in spreadsheets. It's not that complicated. So, but I will have to do some timing, you know, month to month. So I've got 3 tenants that are month to month, and probably right after Christmas, before the new year, we'll have to give notice to those tenants to vacate. So one of the tenants will get a 30-day notice, and 2 of them will get 60-day notices. And so we'll have access to one interior, you know, one of the units of the 4 on February 1st, and then 2 more of the units on March 1st. And so, you know, we'll be kind of working, hopefully that first unit will be completely done and then rented, all right? And before we start on the other units. But there is a potential that I'll have 3 under construction, you know, at one time, which means there's no rent coming in at that time. So we may start some landscaping work early in January, so, you know, that we could get started on that. There'll be some, just trimming, new beds, you know, we could paint some outside. and driveways. Basically, we're just going to define some parking spots, maybe with some metal edging, and the actual drive, and then put crushed stone in that. So right now there's not much of a defined drive, so they're driving through the yard and stuff like that. So just define some parking spots for each unit. So the other thing, I spoke with my father this morning, and I was a little worried. I got one unit that just signed a year lease. They signed in December, and so I was thinking, oh, maybe I won't be able to work on this. I'd like to get all 4 of them renovated prior to refinancing. And so I was even thinking, oh, maybe I can give this tenant some money to leave, or forgive some rent, or do something in order to get that unit vacant so that I can work on it. But actually, he said, well, why don't you just have them move into one of the ones you just renovated, which I thought was brilliant. And basically what I would do is just honor the old rent and move them into a freshly renovated, brand new kitchen, brand new HVAC, which that tenant doesn't have central air right now, just has baseboard heat and window air conditioners. So I could get her, that tenant, into a central air for the summer, and she could continue her lease at the rate that she signed on for, knowing that at the end of the lease that the rent would go up, she could stay, or that she'd have to find, the rent's going up. So, but I think that's a great, it's gonna, of course, I'll lose some rent for that year, for the rest of that lease, but I think it makes everybody happy, and I'm able to do all the renovations I need to do. So I am disappointed that I was not able to do more regular, like every couple of days. It has been busy the whole time, so certainly I could have given updates every day. Things happen every day, so I'm giving you quite a summary of the things that have happened. But yeah, my next thing is to meet with the general contractor and kind of go over a schedule and make sure that I align with his free times also. So I'll talk to you next time.